this is our storefront live event. So we're going to talk storefront with Keith a little bit.
Yep.
He's the godfather. When we thought of all this, he's the godfather of storefront. You know what? Military SF. That's why you went there.
Well, I didn't want to say nothing.
You know, I didn't think of that.
It was so overt. It was covert.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. So you guys get that SF military covert. Okay. What do you think, Keith?
Well, we're kind of in our, I won't say our infancy. I think we've kind of hit adolescence with the storefront program. And I thought this is a great opportunity for us to talk to our distributors, talk to other detailers about a program like this. You've been talking about it for a long time, having other sources of potential income.
Yeah, absolutely.
But built around the business that you're already doing. Because, starting a whole nother channel is like starting a second business outside of what you're doing. It can be a lot of work.
Absolutely. You already got customers that will buy from you.
Right. And this really was the outgrowth of answering the question, what do I do to maintain this thing between the time that I see you? Because the reality is we'd love our customers to come back and have us wash their cars. But the truth is not many detailers have time to do maintenance washes for every customer they have. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So there's a great opportunity to put some product on the table and, have them sell it. And that's kind of what we were looking at. So one of the things I wanted to do with this group is it's fairly diverse. So I kind of want to introduce every member of the team. The first guy we're going to introduce is the guy who wants to make detailing great again. I don't know that detailing was ever not great. So William Lara came up early with us.
No, it wasn't great for a period.
Well, there was a time.
Yeah, there was a dark.
There was the dark ages.
There was the dark ages. And guess who inhabited the dark ages?
All of us.
Gypsies.
Easy. Oh, an email.
Inside joke. I just got like 200 people in trouble.
Yeah, all of us. We're all suspended and we're going to be censured later. So William joined us early on as kind of a storefront in his area, but he wanted to really be a distributor. And so William Lara is down out of Miami. So thanks for being here, William. We're going to talk a little bit about all your stories. I just want to introduce everybody. Our next one is Mr. Pennington. Shane Pennington is a great example of a guy who's got a well-developed shop, have been doing great things for a long time.
Yeah.
Fan of the product line, found out about the storefront. And actually he's graduated this year from the storefront program into being a full distributor. Wow. So he's now knocking on doors and got a guy on a route.
Shane's one of those guys Shane, how long have you been in the industry?
Full-time, about 13 and a half years.
He's been one of these guys. You're one of those guys that you've been a staple at events, and he's put a lot into the industry by supporting the industry and being a big part of it. So pretty cool to see guys like that involved. So thanks, dude.
And then I'm waiting on my last guy here. So Justin, just hang tight, drink some water. Our next,
I think he's drinking something other than that. He's on the back porch with his dogs.
Yeah. But he said he was drinking water, so I'll take him in his word. Our next one is Nick Vecchio. Now, Nick's kind of an interesting character as far as his business. He's the only one of our storefront panelists today that has a storefront where he gets his supplies and products through our distributor that's local to him.
Gotcha.
So a little different setup. He runs through his local distributor, large distributor in the Denver, Colorado area. Everybody else here buys direct from P&S Central. So they buy from the mothership.
Yeah.
And then our final guy who took I won't even say a circuitous, I will say a methodical, deliberate, well-planned approach to his growth. I think that's the best way to put it. The business plan was fantastic. And he's kind of doesn't really have a super storefront. He has a super store.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So Justin Labato took over a building as part of his business plan and just added a tremendously large showroom. So we want to talk about all of that today, guys. That's what this is about.
Big, small, medium, large, just starting out.
Yep.
Vested, long-term, all those.
Yeah. I mean, I think we got a full kind of range here, and I'm really glad about that. Jeremy Goss, another guy who would be here. I think if he does show up, we'll introduce him. A great detailer out of the Pennsylvania area, really dominates his market.
Well, he's counting ballots.
Yep, that's
He's
what
busy
doing.
counting
He's
ballots right now.
probably did go down to Philly to help out. I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah, they got to recount, you know. So yeah, it's Shane. Where's home for you, Shane?
I'm sorry?
Where's home for you? What state?
Illinois. Central
Yeah, you're
Illinois.
gonna count anything there.
Yeah,
you
you
guys
don't
are
have to worry
done.
about counting there. The
Yeah,
machine is
yeah,
taking
you're
care
good.
of that.
You're good to go. And William, you guys are good to go. You know, Justin, you're good to go down to Florida. You know, Nick, yeah, you're good to go too. So,
Not
but
sure what happened up there, but
no, yeah, it's yeah.
so the first question I posed to all of you guys, and this is kind of a chance for you to introduce your program, is why did you guys decide to do the storefront program for your business? And what kind of spurred you into making that decision that the time you did it was the right time? So I will let anybody who wants to raise a hand or jump in go first.
Well, Justin's the most relaxed, so I think Justin's got to go in there.
We got to keep him awake. That's true.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, it's beer 30 there, and
He's wearing all black.
You
Dude.
know,
We can't
he
even
is.
see him.
He is, man. You look
like
comfy.
the Men in Black.
So you're up, stud.
So, you know, with the inception of the double black line, I think it was MTE 2016 when it was first brought out prematurely, just not fully released. I got my hands on it leaving the show, and from there I enjoyed using the products, and you know, was interested in wanting to have products as a point of sale as I was finalizing the services and closing out the customer, to have them walk away with something to help maintain the vehicle. And that was something that was always talked about within the industry, within the Detail Mafia and Renny's group, about, you know, of course, adding revenue, an additional line of revenue. So that was something that it was only pennies on the dollar, but why not try it? You know, get your feet wet a little bit. So I went that route and made some small orders here and there as we grew. And it worked out. And then as time went on, the brand grew very successfully, thanks to the P&S team. And the way that happened, it was just slowly also maturing in our market, especially in the Florida market, being that P&S was a complete West Coast brand. And then with was it Auto Geek bringing it on, that was a huge account that came on board that allowed the local market in Florida to pick up more on the brand and the success of the product. So at this point, you know, come 2018, 2019, having the opportunities I had with the store and selling more of it and being known in the local market to have some of these products, it was a no-brainer when I had the opportunity to expand, because at that point I knew it would be a successful additional line of revenue that I could count on. And being around so many of the P&S family and being able to know that I could pick their brains on me helping develop the plan and really see this out and forecast it out, I just knew that it was a winning situation to add it on. And it's awesome because, I mean, you get customers that, you know, they come in, they have neglected interiors. I mean, just horrible. And they don't want to pay. They didn't want to pay to begin with. That's how it got to where it was. But they end up leaving with anywhere from $40 to $80 in product to do it themselves. And they get to consult with you as the professional, especially if you're an active detailer and have an active shop, and they're already coming to you with a reputation knowing that you are, you know, the go-to person in your town, and then having the products, they're going to listen to you with all ears, and you're going to be able to sell to them that much more. So even though you're not selling them a service, you're still making a sale of product. So either or, you're still making money is the bottom line. And that's what I love about having the storefront and them consulting with you as the professional on how to use the products. And then, to be honest, using my brand that I built as the advantage, you know, being in videos, being part of Buff and Shine, it was just a no-brainer for me to utilize that and capitalize on it in the storefront to get more trust from customers and turn them into product customers, into service customers, and vice versa. And it's just been one of the better decisions I made out of all the services I added to the growth. And it's been awesome. And the team, I mean, the education, the knowledge, and the people that are on the P&S team, it's a very unique team. Everybody has so much they bring to the table, and I'm sure we've all witnessed that, and it's just been fun, and being part of the family has just been awesome.
So, you know, you played, I'll give you a plug. You played a huge part in us being successful with Auto Geek, and, you know, we'll forever be indebted using you know, your know-how and skills is a lot of people, you know, you've made a huge impact on the industry in several ways, but in our business, you've really made an impact. So publicly, I want to thank you.
Oh, thank
And
you
it's
guys.
sad because here's the deal is Justin's really been, you know, when he first came through training, God, we talked all the time. And last year when he got his expansion, we did our expansion almost, I mean, it was almost back to back. And we hardly ever get to talk anymore because he's just, you know, he's busy building his empire and his family. And, you know, we're doing the same thing, but I miss him.
Yeah, I got to say, I mean, one of the bonuses of working this program,
Yeah.
I get to talk to most of these guys pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Justin's fallen off the radar, but it's just Justin has
He's
been
busy.
And so, you know what? That's the great thing. I don't mind not talking to Justin because he's busy.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if it were something else, that'd be kind of interesting. And so let's bring another guy who's busy as heck and got a lot going on, and that's Shane. You know, I've been so impressed with your shop, your operation. A couple of years ago, Shane was coming to Texas for a project. It made a point to look me up. We went out, we had some lunch. It was great to get that personal connection. And, you know, that's a really cool part about the storefront is we get detailers who can talk to us about our product as well. So Shane, tell us a little bit about why you kind of jumped in and also segue into why you decided to put a truck on the street and a young man on the street to go out and sell product.
Yeah. I want to hear this. This is cool.
Well, I'll try to find a place to start, guys. Pretty much every out here in Illinois, in the Midwest, P&S there was nobody out here distributing P&S. So it was a while before we came on and started using your product. But every product that we were using that we decided to stick with, we had a couple other brands that we had brought in here before P&S came around. And every one of those, we tried to bring a storefront image. Most of them, none of them really had the image like the double black. So it was always kind of a hard sell. It's kind of a cheap look. So that's always been kind of a part of the image that we've always had a storefront. We've always been a clean shop. We've always had our endeavor to have a professional look. And when P&S kind of came around, became a little bit more known in the area, we stumbled across a distributor that was kind of going out of business with P&S. And that's when we kind of latched on to the whole P&S lineup because we saw a future in it. Because we didn't want to just bring it on in the storefront lineup and that's it, stop there. We wanted, like what we've done in the last year, we wanted to get to the distributorship level because that's one of my goals. And, you know, now we're to the point where we're being able to do that. And like you said, Keith, we got a guy out on the street that's been with me. He's been with me for probably 5 years. So he's no rookie. And one of the things that we're wanting to bring to the area in having a detail truck, a supply truck, going around to the dealerships and detail shops in our area, is we saw a need for real training. We saw a need for guys that really knew what was going on. They knew the product. They weren't just selling, here's the pink tire dressing, here's the red degreaser. They knew exactly what the ratio is, what works best. This is how it works in our shop. This is how we use it. Here's the pad that you need for this project. Oh, you got the black GMC. Here, let's go with this combo. This is what works best. And I tell you what, that has made the difference. Since putting a guy out on the street and stepping up the distribution, the double black lineup and everything else that kind of comes along with it, with the P&S name, since we're carrying the full line now, I tell you what, it's still a new thing. We're trying to put the name out there. We're putting more bottles in front of their faces. We're handing out a lot of stuff, but it's getting that logo in front of them. It's a new logo to everybody. They have no idea what it is other than a handful of them have heard what bead maker is. But other than that,
hey Shane, we can't hear you. Hang on one second.
Oh, just lost something else. Oh,
there we go.
Yeah, 1 second, bud. For some reason, we just lost your audio. Just give us 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Dude, place is haunted.
Right? We've never had this problem. We also have a lot of people on Wi-Fi.
Well, I was gonna
I
say,
don't know though. Who knows on this one?
every single box in
You
the
know?
room is on Wi-Fi. So
Yeah. I think it's Trump and Biden's fault. I'm going to blame them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
elected you. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I
See,
could be secretary.
three
of Defense.
people wrote me in, and I'm going to end up getting the presidency because these two other fools can't do it. You know.
Only improve.
And so,
Oh,
see,
God.
hey, how are we doing? Are you back yet? Let's see how you're doing.
Can you hear me?
All right,
There we
cool.
go. We got you.
Okay.
Kind of lost you after you talked about kind of the training and having a guy who really knows the product line, making all the difference with sales.
Yeah. Having Kyle out on the street and being a knowledgeable sales guy, and not just nothing against the retired folk that are out there driving the detail supply trucks. But that's what we had a lot in the area, is just a bunch of guys just looking to kill some time and drive around a big truck. Having a guy out there that's IDA certified, he's been trained, he's been working here in my shop for 5 years.
Wow.
Gave up some college time and said, you know, I know your dream and I want to make this happen. And the stories, man, I wish I could be out there more. And I went out there with him today to kind of meet some people that he's come across that they're hungry for the training. They're hungry for a real experience. And that's what I told Kyle today. That's what this whole thing has to be. And I think P&S kind of has that same vision, the whole double black, what you guys are doing out there in California, it's bleeding this way. Is creating that experience, that training that goes with it. We had one of our clients dealership, one of the other distributors sold them a Rupes kit, sold them just to sell it, and provided no training. They had no idea what they had in that box, and was to the point of tears almost, and didn't know what to do with it. And then, you know, now she's calling on us and we're providing the training. We're running into a lot of that. And the P&S lineup has been a solid lineup. It's been a great thing for us. Great thing. And we're glad to be a part of it.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, we love having you. And speaking of bleeding a little bit east, let's get to the guy in the Rocky Mountains, because we're still climbing over those mountains, sending product that way. So
There you go.
where is Mr. Nick?
There
Tell
he
us
is.
about your decision to dive into the pool. I mean, I got to be honest, man. As soon as we rolled that thing out, I think you just about knocked me over to say, let's do this. So tell us why you thought it was a great fit for your shop.
Yeah, mine was a little bit different in the fact that, you know, I am a detail shop, and I'm not distributing the products like you said, Keith. I have a distributor come to my shop weekly to provide the product. So what I was going after was, I always did like a care package for clients, whether it's a coating, an interior, exterior. I was always giving them a little package to go home with to help maintain their cars in between coming in for a maintenance, or if I'm only seeing them twice a year. But I was always giving them something. And of course, I was building that into the price of the detail, but I was like, you know, it would be nice, instead of giving, huge sizes away, if I could get something smaller, with the soap, I was selling gallons. People would be like, I'm going to have this forever. And I'm like, yeah, you are, but at least you're getting it. So when the whole storefront came out, I loved it right away. Everything of the storefront I use in my shop already. So it is a good way for me to have the product on hand. They can see that I'm using it in the shop. And now I'm able to send them home with a kit. And believe it or not, it was strictly just for getting them into a kit to send home to. But now it's developed into where I have customers coming to the shop just to buy product. They want bead maker. They want brake buster. They want, I mean, I even added wheel woolies and grit guards and you know, stuff like that. So to me, it was not being a distributor. It was, like Justin said, another form of revenue to add. And you know, I have a small shop, you know, 2,800 square foot. The office is maybe 900 square foot. So not a big space, but to me, I put together a really nice showcase of the products. And like I said, not only carrying just P&S products, I've added, you know, little things like pet rocks and stuff like that.
Do you talk to your pet rocks, or? I mean,
yeah, yes. Here in Colorado, I swear every car has.
I swear it's just caffeine.
Yeah. So no, I mean, it has been nothing but a blessing. Even with having a distributor in the area, I will have some shops who don't buy enough call me up, or even body shops, you know, that we do in town. A lot of the body shops up here will do all the body work, but they won't do any of the finishing. So I got 3 or 4 different body shops where we finish down, and they always ask, you know, what are you using, this and that. I mean, I'll sell 5-gallon bead maker over to them and stuff like that. So it's been more than a blessing. I mean, like, having that other avenue, I mean, learning from you, Renny, learning from Justin, you know, Mark was on the Buff and Shine podcast today. I picked his brain a lot, just different avenues to go with business. And, you know, P&S has allowed that. I've been using P&S, believe it or not, we're coming on 20 years I've owned my business, and I've been using P&S from day one.
Wow, that's incredible. Couple things. First off, you know, 2,800 square foot shop. It's a big shop.
Yeah, it's a big shop. By the way, I saw a picture of your shop today.
Yeah, it's
and
not
it looks
small.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The floor looks awesome, and you have some beautiful cars in there.
And you're killing it on social media and stuff. Yeah. And Nick's one of those guys. I've absolutely. First off, I saw your wife run by just a little while ago, so tell her hello. And second off is that Nick's one of these guys that we've really enjoyed. Like all of these panelists, I have gotten a front row seat to watch these guys grow.
Oh yeah.
And change and prosper in their lives, their lifestyle, have kids, you know, see them with their spouses, their significant other, grow a business, buy real estate, all these different things. And seeing you guys kill it like that. And I'm really, you're again, very proud of you, Nick.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
So let's go to the guy who I still haven't seen shelf one in his new shop, which, by the way, is a gorgeous building.
It looks good. It looks good. Yeah.
So William, talk to us a little bit about kind of what drove you into the idea of wanting to resell product and kind of get into being a storefront, because you've really been a mobile guy for a long time.
Yeah, so I was really mobile for the past almost 4 years until I got a shop recently. But I never heard of the P&S lineup until I really trained with Renny. I was like, okay, these products work, they're good products. And then, you know, I started using them, implementing them into my detail and, you know, my business. And eventually, like, detailers in my local area were, you know, asking me, what am I using? Where can they get it at? So I found, you know, an opportunity to be able to not just provide them a product, make a profit, but I was able to help educate them on the products and the industry as well. Because, you know, probably when I first started, you know, I'll give credit where credit is due. Mike Phillips is always talking about becoming the expert in your market. And when I came back, you know, when I really came down to Miami, that was at Mobile Tech 2017. When I came down, I tried to see who were those experts in both the detailing and the supplier side. And, you know, not for nothing, but I couldn't really find any expert in the suppliers, you know, side of the business. So I found an opportunity, not just to make money selling products, but, you know, to really help the industry and educate others, you know, in my market.
Cool.
Yeah. And again, William's another one of these guys, man. I've known him, you know, met at Mobile Tech. We had a cigar together, really good cigar. Remember that top? We went out on the
yeah, yeah.
Is that awesome or what? We broke
Yeah,
away
that
for
was pretty cool.
opportunity, and man, we had a good time. And and again, I think I love watching him because he's not going into debt. He's doing it slow. He's doing it as he should. I mean, you've got all these guys on different spectrums, that are just starting out, and to see Shane jumping all the way into going from storefront to distributor, and then to see what Justin's done with his storefront. I mean, we call it a storefront. It's like a store. And then, Nick's stuff on social media of just absolutely tearing it up, and what he's put in to make his shop look the way it does.
Well, I think, a common theme that I see here, and even with Jeremy, who's not on, the thing I've noticed is they all have become kind of the detail expert in their market, in their way.
That's huge.
And you all get there a different way. So let's talk about, because storefront's an undertaking in itself. It adds a different kind of traffic to your shop. And it also adds a little bit of pressure because now you put, some money out, product on your shelf, and you've got to come up with a way to market it and sell it. And, I'll be honest, people are great talking about the service they do, but they aren't necessarily great pitchmen. They're not out there trying to knock on doors and be sales guys. So, what are the pluses and minuses to having added a program like this to your business? And I think we'll just let you guys kind of dive in. Not everybody doesn't have to answer, but if you've got some thoughts on that, we'd love to hear them.
Well, at least from me, when I started, I was a mobile detailer, and I was really just selling products out of my van to mostly detailers. But then, I found the challenge where it's like, okay, now I'm running out of products. How can I really step up, have the products in stock? And that's like when I really started taking the trying to become a storefront to try to become more of a distributor and supplier. So that was one of the challenges that at least I was facing.
So you had success, but that success also kind of added a little bit of, more forecasting, more planning.
That's exactly it.
I mean, Shane can tell you that it's product static on the shelf is pretty easy to see when you're running low. But you got a guy out there on the street selling product. You're not quite sure what disappeared today till he comes back and says, there's nothing in the cart. What are we selling tomorrow? So
and it's definitely been a learning process, throughout the way. Like, okay, like reordering, what I have in stock, when I have stock, etc. So it's been pretty cool.
Anybody else want to add something to that?
I'm thankful I don't have to worry about that. But if I do, it took a couple months to figure out what I need to order each month as far as product wise. It seems to go pretty quick, whereas every time my distributor's making an order, I'm making an order. But I did have a month during COVID that was really, really slow. And I just ran a sale on the product and that took care of it for me.
a special, right?
A special. Yes, correct.
So were you asking about inventory, Keith? I'm sorry, I had to put you on mute to yell at my dogs.
No, it's okay. I like that. So we were just kind of asking about some of the challenges that have come with having a storefront.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to have the extra revenue in, but then you've got forecasting and other things. So any goods, bads, and uglies for you, Justin?
I mean, yeah, understanding inventory was big for me, and understanding how to monitor it, with just putting it out in the storefront and then also having the stock room and trying to understand how that, flow goes of what's going to sell, what sells slow, what most people in the market are buying. And with being new to that in the market and new to that space, it was just a learning curve. So, I mean, me with having other revenue, it didn't bother me. I was like, I know it will pick up, and I always had faith in that. But at the same time, I was like, man, I really want this to kick off because I really want to be the storefront in my local market or the go-to detail supply storefront. And I was just looking for ways, to help expedite that. We added water, RO water, because I know out in California and I know other areas in Florida, water is awesome to have and sell it per gallon. And I researched in my market, nobody sells it. Oh, okay. Well, Now I'm the only one in my market selling water. And what that does is it drives them in, buy more product. So now I'm seeing more product moving. But once I established figuring out what product was moving, then I was able to basically utilize my stock room as my restock. Once I got low in there is when I restocked in there. I didn't wait till I got low on my shelves. I waited until I got low in the stock room because I never wanted my shelves to look low. I never want them to be dusty. I always want them to be prepped and proper and looking good. And there are some things that move quicker than others, but I also have to learn why they're moving quicker or other things are moving slower. Is it the people that are being marketed to? Is it the consumer? Is it the consumer that is my customer as a service? Is it the detailer coming in? Because we've got about 12 or 15 local detailers that come in and buy consistently. And so I'm watching little things. And P&S is the meat and potatoes of our storefront, but we've got little gems in there that we've brought in because there's popularity. I mean, hey, hype is hype. And in business, if hype is making you money, then jump on the hype train. So we've get little things that come in. We got Solution Finish, it's approved and tested product. It's not part of P&S, but we know that not only is there hype, but it works. We've got some American Detailer Garage. We've got, flex polishers. We've got, little things that we've brought in that, people are talking about, Detail Addicts, the local guy, Josh Felder, who created that product that in our market, people love it. He introduced it at MTE's right in my backyard. So I've got detailers that were looking for it and asking about it. And if I get enough demand, I'm going to supply it. I'm going to utilize my relationships and my connections to get that product in and start moving it. And it just helps out overall on understanding what is and what isn't moving, so I could get over those hurdles to kind of make everything have momentum at some level.
I like that. That's a
Yeah,
great response.
That was kind of one of our function questions for all you guys was, have you added any other business or product lines? You guys have known P&S for a long time, and we look at Renny Shop and any of the folks we work with. We're not all about, putting a great big wall up around the business and saying you can only sell our stuff. So have you guys found that adding other product lines to it have helped you guys grow and or have you kind of said, nah, we're not really ready to do that, or we're just not our bag? I know, Justin, you've added other lines and that's awesome, but what about the rest of you? I know, Nick, you're kind of pretty much P&S guy, but Shane, what about you?
Oh, definitely. You can see over here, we got
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Should I sit like this? How's
Yeah,
that?
no, not at all. Good friends of ours.
Yeah.
Good friends of ours. G-Technique.
It's been a solid product for us, and we're not ashamed to carry them. But yeah, like Justin said, there's plenty of other. Sometimes you play on the hype, but if it's being hyped up, we like to test it first. We like to put it in our hands. It runs through the shop before it comes to the front counter, and we use it so that we know how to use it, so that we can kind of, like I said before, we can train them or just kind of give them the experience of how it's going to work for them. But yeah, and some, as our kind of popularity has grown, some others have kind of reached out to us and said, hey, will you take on ours? Not all of them I'm willing to take on, because like I said, they got to, I don't want to, I'm not trying to make myself too big, but I want to know what I'm selling. And Kyle feels the same way. That makes a huge difference. If you can't feel the confidence, if you can't tell them at least the dilution ratio, what's the best ratio for Pearl? Well, depends on how you're using it. If you're using it like this, it's this mix. And if you can't do that, then, but like I said, we just like to, we have some other stuff here. But it's primarily P&S, and we'll see where it goes. We're very happy with what we have. We wish you guys were a little bit closer to the East Coast. Getting over those Rocky Mountains seems to be a project sometimes, but other than that.
Well, if we keep getting hit with earthquakes, we might make that happen.
We may have to,
it's just what happens.
Yeah.
So, hey, let me ask you guys this, all of you. We heard from Nick that he's got a very small shop of 2,800 square feet.
Tiny little square feet.
I don't know how you do it. I just don't know how you even survive. So each one of you, so Nick, 2,800 square feet, how much of that is would you guess is kind of dedicated to your product sales?
I would say a little over 850. As far as the display, the office area, and some shelving in P&S literature and stuff like that. So it's right as you come in. So the first thing the customer seen next to my brand is P&S.
That's cool. Shane, now you've got a little different situation there. What did you start out with when you first started Storefront, square footage wise dedicated? And now what are you up to as a distributor? What's the needs for that?
Our shop our shop in the beginning, when we brought on Storefront, we were doing a lot of accessories, the whole WeatherTech lineup, the tonneau covers, all kinds of those things, lighting, audio. So that's kind of what our Storefront was kind of dedicated to. We've transitioned out of that. And now that whole Storefront is detail products. We've got a few other things that are easy sellers as far as for accessories, but we've got out of that for the most part, that whole lineup. And right now we've got what you see behind me is just one corner of the showroom. And then we got shelving out in the back, and we're going to be adding more shelving to go higher to the ceiling. So that's kind of where we're at. As far as square footage, our building overall is probably 3,500, 4,000. And I bet if once we get it all kind of staged out, because we're going to be bringing in more stuff, but I bet close to half of it's going to be just inventory.
Wow, man,
that's a huge amount.
And you know what, you guys, this is how much the industry's changed. I remember, we ran, my first shop was like 800 square feet. My second shop got bigger.
You get a small car in it.
Yeah, and then my our most profitable shop, believe it or not, was 1,200 square feet. So when you guys, talk these sizes, even though my current shop's a nice size, man, back in the day, that's how humbled we were, is it was so mellow. So. Justin, what do you got dedicated to? You got what, 6,500 square feet total. What
7,300 square foot total. And,
let them know.
That's not flex or anything,
I just had to be politically correct. I mean, somebody has to be, because the media can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyhow, about, I think 1,500 square feet is dedicated to the storefront area. I don't remember off top, but roughly in that space.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And then William, what are you sitting at? You've got a nice place, man. I think it's ideal for a lot of people.
He should know down to the square inch, because he just recarpeted the whole thing. So.
Yeah, that's engineered planking. You put engineered planking in yours, didn't you?
Well, the shop is about 1,250, and I just finished building the showroom from scratch, so that's about 330. That's going to be pure showroom for the products. Half of the shop of the space that I have now, I'm going to dedicate to inventory, and the other half to the detailing. I'm really going through a transition in my business where I'm trying to focus, not 100% on being a supplier, but I want to dedicate more time to the supplier, and the details going to be more appointment-based, boutique style, type of detailing.
I dig it. I love it,
Cool.
Man. Well, great job,
I
man.
think that's so we talk about this with all of them. I think it's kind of cool. Shane brings it up as a training point. You've got a training center built into your shop, Shane, and we know that that's great. All of you actually do.
You could. Why not?
So it's kind of
we got something coming too, by the way, that we'll share here.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of something cool that we're gonna take and do some educating with the storefronts and distributors really soon. So something fun.
Yeah, something actually every one of these guys has been asking me for.
Yeah.
When are we gonna have our thing? We're bringing
your
thing.
We're bringing you a thing.
So
that's a thing.
Do any of you really take advantage of that fact that you have, floor space where you can do training in your building? And have you brought anybody in to kind of do education, or as we've talked about, park and shines, or cars and coffee, as some people call it?
Ooh, you just said the name.
I just said the name. You know what? We can let that cat out of the bag, because it's aimed at these guys.
So we got a new program called Park and Shine that's made for you guys to kind of have open garages and events, sponsored events at your location and locations across your entire community. That's a coffee and cars type event, but Park and Shine. And so we're going to brand it. Bob's done a great job of early day branding with it. We're going to share that with you guys. Can personalize it, call it your own, and we're going to start really taking and blowing that up.
So the question is, do you guys do anything like that now, or have you tried anything like that? And if not, I mean, obviously COVID's kind of wrecked the last 9 months, but what have you guys done with that, if anything?
Well, at least for me is is definitely in the plan. That's all about being in the process of being the expert in your market. But it's definitely in the pipeline for to do trainings and open garages and so forth.
Right on. Cool. Anybody else?
We've
All
not
right, Justin.
We've not done anything like that for a cars and coffee type deal. We've always talked about it, especially when it comes to anniversary time for the shop. Just at the last minute, just a lot goes into it. We're
gonna try to make it as simple as we can for you guys, to where it's like muscle memory, to where it doesn't cost much. It's not going to be instant return, but it doesn't cost much. We did this my entire career. They became within it took about 18 months. It took a little more than a season to start getting them rolling, and then they were money makers. And
you've got product on the shelf, so that passive opportunity for people who wander in is buy something.
Well, not only that,
fantastic.
Just buy services too.
Well, that's true. They come in thinking they just want to put a little wax on it and realize
then they see what
you can do. Yeah,
it's like, hey man, no way, I got to get these guys.
I'd rather let you do that machine.
Absolutely,
that's a great answer. So, one of the last questions I got for you guys is, it's kind of an interesting group here because we've got really two of you, almost three of you, really running at distributor pricing and purchasing now because of your volume. But what's the end game here? Is it to ride this wave and dominate your market and sell out of your store, or are you guys, the rest of you, looking at Shane's opportunity and going, I'm going to hit the streets and go knock it out? What's the end goal or the 5-year view for what you think your storefront's going to be?
What do you think, William? We'll start with you. We're going to work our way back up now. We'll start with William, and then we'll go up the line up to Justin next, just in case Justin's having another beer.
Well, definitely, like the 5-year plan is definitely to be the industry, expert, but ambassador at the same time in the local market. And definitely, making, P&S is my main line of product, and it probably will always stay like that. But it's more of becoming, the educator and the supporter within the industry. And at the end of the day, if we host events and, whatever you want to call it, customers are always going to come in, the do-it-yourselfers, a car enthusiast, a part-time, the weekend warrior, etc. So it's definitely, in the plans to blow it up.
There you go. Justin, you're next.
Key term, market share. Just basically owning my market at every level, both service and product, and not necessarily pushing anybody out, but just making sure that we're the go-to source in our county. And the end goal is, one, owning the property, owning the building, owning the dirt, and that's been preached about from both you, Keith, and Bob for this whole trip of me doing what I'm doing now. But that, and then expanded, I plan on also getting a small little transit van on the road. I've talked to William about this. In the next year or two, I want to get that going, because I see these dealerships buying from some of these box truck guys, and I'm good friends with these box truck guys, but at the same time, it's business, and I'm going to come in there and get mine. And I see that, and then making sure that my services reach their full potential of throughput with the cars coming in and out, and overseeing, coaching, and mentoring my team, and making sure they do the right thing. And then at the 5-year mark, when the property's bought and everything's owned outright, then I've got options, or I make investments. And at that point, being 38 now, that puts me at 43. At 43, hopefully that's quite a few options I could look at. So I wouldn't call it an end game. It may be a start game. It may just be the end of that goal and the start of a new one.
As Carol Shelby said, you're not going to be, he told me I wouldn't even be smart. I was still retarded at 43.
Yeah, I was going to say,
what I'm saying?
I was thinking of that story.
So, So, and you know what? It's true, man. I looked back, I thought I was brilliant at 40. I was a dumbass. It was like, man, I'm really at it. You'll figure it out. The thing that all of you guys have got going for you is that at a pretty young age, you guys are going to nail you guys are going to nail where I'm at now, younger. You know what I'm saying? And that, how cool is that? I mean, that's the best thing as a dude that does that as a company. You know, we're having meetings this entire week, and you know, I'm down. One of my biggest things, man, if I can't build other people up and teach them how to be successful, not only at making money and so forth, but making smiles on their face and the people around them, it's not worth it. And so I love seeing you guys do this.
That's really been a theme for us this week.
Yeah.
Conversation is, how do we do the things with what we're doing to help guys be successful and have their businesses grow. So I'm going to save Shane for last, because he's kind of already answered the question with where he's going with his truck. But let's dive in with Nick, because Nick, you're pretty much in a static situation. But what's your 5-year plan with the program?
He's probably going to. I'm going to guess he's going to say he's going to get a little bigger shop, maybe 7,300 square feet.
On the golf course, because
on the golf course or something like that. Because you know what, Nick, I'd make it 7,500 square feet, just so you beat Justin.
Yeah, you got to be a little ahead.
So sorry, Nick, I had to get you in there.
No. So like he said, really, I mean, there isn't really an end game for me with having a distributor in the area. But the thing that I'm able to give is, when a customer is in the shop, they are able to get the product then and there, or even other shops in my area. Like Renny taught me this. Other shops in the area are not my competitors. So I work closely with them. Now they're not a lot of them don't use what I use, but when they come into a pinch and need some, dressing or interior cleaner, I'm there to help them. And, the biggest thing, like I said, for me was to be able to give my customers a product when they leave my shop, that they can safely try to maintain the investment they just put in with me. And if I can do that being a storefront, then, as far as an end game, there it is right there. I'm making my job a lot easier if I can teach them how to properly maintain it. Then the next time it comes back to me, it's not going to be as big of a job.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
So Shane, and let's clear up the geography here. You're on the southern end of Illinois. You're down on the tip there on the border.
North Central.
Oh, North Central. Okay, so you're up in
you
the
missed
corner.
that one.
Yeah.
That's why I want to clear up the geography. Hey man,
sorry, Major. When's the last time you were on a
land nav course?
Yeah,
I had a map and a compass. It worked out fine. So, your geography is really interesting because you have a state line right near you. But what's your end game? I mean, obviously you've got a truck on the road, but is it 2 or 3, or what's the goal there?
Definitely. We're already needing. Kyle is maxed out on what he can do. So we're already needing to add another route, and we've not took the truck south. That's the one direction we've not gone. So we need more staff. We need more trucks, at least one more, for now. But as far as for the next 5 years, we've already kind of transitioned our detail business side of things. Last year we put, if I remember right, I think the total was like around 2,000 cars through the shop in various services.
Wow.
So we're kind of transitioning away from that. We're not so much into production, and we've never really had that mindset, but that's kind of what it turned into, because there's no other shop in the area for detail work, not on this scale. So we're kind of transitioning. One of you guys said that you're kind of transitioning to more of the boutique style. And that's kind of what Justin has done down from what I've seen down there in Florida, from the beautiful showroom and the setup, the experience that the customer gets. That's kind of what we're transitioning to, more hardcore, the stuff that we've done for a long time, but that we do tint, PPF, coatings, corrections, all that stuff. Complete details. We're going to keep that stuff going, but we're going to back off some of the other stuff. So it's more of a, like one of you guys said, the boutique style. On the distribution side, we want that to take off. We want to, have to have warehouse space. We want to have more guys on the streets. We want to do training. We definitely want to do training. Dealerships are begging us, even if we don't bring it up. Dealerships are begging us to do some kind of a training where they can send their crew. You guys know how it is finding good help, and dealerships are struggling with that same thing. They want to be able to send their crew of 2 or their crew of 12 somewhere. Just train my guys. Show them what dilution ratio means. Show them, like what I talked earlier with Keith about the chemtrail. I'm excited to see what that's all about. I missed the earlier demo on that, but I've got guys.
You missed both parts of it because we had to do it in segments.
Yeah,
Okay.
we lost power.
Yeah,
but that's distribution is, that's part of the reason why we backed off some of the other things in the detail side of things, because I'm one guy and I was getting stretched pretty thin, and I saw it. If this distribution side wants to take off like I want it to, then we need to back off some of the other things that, just washing cars, go to the car wash, go to that driveway detailer, let those guys take on some of that stuff. We'll do more of the high end work, and that's what we like anyway. So
Good
Cool.
for you. Good answer.
well, guys, we are right up on the last 7-8 minutes. So, in a sentence or two, give anybody who's thinking about doing a storefront product out of their store, whether that's us or any other brand, one piece of advice you'd give them as they look to step into that realm.
We'll go to Nick. We'll start at the top again.
Yeah, we'll let Nick run with this one.
Well, like with me, nothing to lose, everything to gain. It's been nothing but a blessing for me. Now I don't have the volume, Justin and Shane and William are going to have, but you put that storefront up, it has done nothing but increase my revenue. No real stress to it. It's just been an all-out benefit for my shop and my business.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Shane, any words of wisdom?
yeah, definitely the having the storefront is allowed us to create. I preach customer experience. From the time that the customer walks up on the sidewalk, you better have your landscaping dialed in. You better have your front door cleaned up. And your everything. It's everything. Have the sensies going once they walk in. I don't care. Just have a clean shop, your display, and this stuff complements that experience. And it really has kind of opened the door for us to be able to offer some of those higher end jobs, because we can back it up with something that they're not used to seeing in AutoZone. This is truly what we use, and it'll work with you and your driveway as you maintain, and they love that experience. I can go deep in the weeds with them on the details of how it works and why it works, and sometimes you need to do that, but for the most part, they just show me what works, and this has been a solid lineup. And I've got other detail shops since stepping up to distribution level. I've talked to other shops that kind of have that same vision for their own shops, and they want to do the storefront. So I'm looking for this thing to really
awesome.
take off for us.
Yeah,
Cool.
good job. Well said.
All right, we'll go to William. We'll close with Justin, the mogul. So, William, what's your one piece of advice to someone?
Like Nick says, there's nothing to lose. You're always gonna, you can make, have an extra source of income where, you don't always have to depend on that one solid, whether it's detailing or whatever it is you want to do. But at the end of the day, like for me, it's about having a better lifestyle. And, being a storefront allows me to do that. And again, it can happen. If it can happen for me, it can happen for anybody.
Well said, man.
Cool. All right, Mr. Back Porch, where'd you go? Are you there?
I'm still here.
Screaming at his dog.
No. So I don't know. I mean, when there's a will, there's a way. If you want to grow, most of the time, growth, you're your own worst enemy. Get out of your own way. Scared money don't make money. So there's always opportunities. If you don't have the capital, seek it. SBA loans. There's always ways. You just got to do the research. If you're hungry enough, there is something out there, a little bits and pieces that will make it work. and you reach out to the right people, the right team, and they'll help motivate you, they'll help mentor you, and they'll make anything happen. But the biggest key behind making that happen is you. You've got to get out of your own way and just take a leap of faith and trust in those who have been there, done that are helping you guide the way. So if you want to grow a storefront and you have the opportunity, if you're mobile and you want to get into a little store, start small. You know, you can't eat a big 36-inch pizza by yourself, but you take one bite at a time. And that's all it takes. So there's the people in the industry, especially with P&S, that can make that happen. And if that's the brand you want to be with, we're here with open arms, and having a storefront is very, very valuable to your brand, to your detailing business, and it will help the bottom line with making more money and having the lifestyle you want.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on that. Having you guys and all of our storefronts as storefronts is extremely valuable to our brand, to what we've tried to do and what we're trying to do. So first of all, thank you guys for the time today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for the relationships of the last couple of years and the growth with us. And you know, no program starts off perfect. We've had some fits and starts here or there, but you guys have been with us from the get-go, and we appreciate it. Appreciate what you've done. And thanks for joining us on SEMA360. We got to go get changed, dude. We got
we got a little bit of party here in a couple hours. So we're gonna. I don't know how much of a party it's going to be, but I think we'll put some good info out, man.
Yeah, we got some party.
I think there'll be some chunks. We're gonna go more personal, and we got to get up and hang the disco ball.
We do, and I want to thank a special shout out to our cigar supply center in William Lara. We do have some P&S cigars tonight.
Man. There you go.
There may even be a P&S cigar giveaway that we'll send some out tonight. So stay tuned and watch for the branded cigars. Hey, we got coffee. We can have cigars.
We got coffee. I got to go make some more.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks for attending. We'll see you.
No, thank you for having me.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.